saying this road is the line, basically.
All right, so this is a big thing to consider buying land. You see this rock pile here? This rock pile came off of the airstrip, the field. So in other words, that field has been picked pretty clean.
There you go again, picking up a hitchhiker out in the woods.
I'm pretty bad about that.
In the middle of...
All right, ready to go for a ride?
Sure.
Hey guys, Kapper here. Welcome back. And this is part 2 of a showing of a really beautiful 160-ish acre Branson, Missouri area, southwest Missouri in the Ozarks farm. So today we're going to look at the land portion of this, and I'm going to tell you this one, after looking at like 9 or 10 so far, this is the first one that we're actually willing to put an offer on. So if you missed part 1, here's a few little references, but I'll put a link in the description where we looked at the home and the outbuildings. Right now we're going to check out the entire property. You could see it's hilly country. The road that we're on right here, you could see this is a road bed. This road will go all the way down a very steep cliff, if you will. But we did get intel that the neighbor could use this road right here that you're looking at as an easement, but in very rare occasions if the creek, which you're going to see, overflows. So if the creek flows, the neighbor that lives down this ridge down here could use this to get up and over your farm around so it can get out towards town. We were going to look at whether that was a permanent easement or a one property owner easement or whatever, but by the looks of it, they haven't used it for years. And as you're going to see later in the video, the township has been doing a really good job of maintaining that gravel road where the creek is down there that does overflow. So anyways, join us. You're going to get some fresh air. This is like really how we do it, you know, one property showing at a time. I'm going to walk the woods. We're going to look at the hardwoods. We're going to talk about food plots. We're going to talk about deer hunting. We're going to look at neighboring properties and how some of them are close and the impacts that they may have. So join us. And again, if you enjoy it, we appreciate you hitting the like button and consider subscribing, because this is an ongoing process. We're looking for our next beautiful forever farm. For freedom reasons, if you will. Our next freedom farm, we're kind of excited and we're kind of stressed and overwhelmed. Anyways, I'm rambling. Join us in the woods of the Ozarks for today's showing of this beautiful property. Thanks a lot. Well, if you could see, there's a small shelf right there. Not very big. Yeah, I'm thinking somebody stacked all these rocks. They probably come out of that airstrip. All right, so this is a big thing to consider buying land. You see this rock pile here? I mean, this rock pile came off of the airstrip, the field. So in other words, that field has been picked pretty clean of rocks. And when you're buying land in mountain country and in Ozarks, your fields are all going to be loaded with rocks, which takes a lot of time. It's obviously nicer if you have equipment, but it's just something to consider. If you have some fields, especially if you want to plant food plots or do hay or crops or anything, rocks need to be cleaned out of these fields, and it's a ton of work. All right, we can keep going and we'll poke around. All right, so right now we're following this path. We started at the house, and it's going to get pretty steep downhill, but this is the path that's going to come out at it's a dead-end gravel road where the creek is down at the bottom.
Let's take this path. It should hit that creek also.
Yeah, it looks like it comes down to Cromwell down there.
Right, this is a beautiful roadbed. This is hard to come by. I mean, even editing this a couple days after, I'm like, oh, maybe we should go back and go after this one. I mean, you could plant a food plot on this roadbed. Obviously, it gets you around your property, and especially in a really hilly and mountainous terrain. So a pre-existing roadbed like this that's nice and flat and cleared. Now, these trees you're going to see during this tour, they cut them down on purpose to keep people out from coming up from the bottom where the creek is. But we're coming at it from the top, and we're going to do a little hiking here. But man, this is just a beautiful mountain property right here.
Hang on. Yeah, you brought one with.
Yeah, they blocked this one off. Well, we could just hike a little ways, and if we can get down it from that way. Hate to move their blockade, I'm gonna put it back. Definitely a blockade here to close this off. Cromwell Road is down here. I wanted to take a look at that. And that's also where the creek is down there. This is that road bed right here, goes all the way to Cromwell. We're going to probably drive around, try and get around to that, so we ain't got to move their blockades here. But it looks like a halfway decent, nice road bed. He's going to drive up that road. I'm just going to hike. There's that Taj Mahal deer stand up here. I just want to look in the woods here, kind of. It's a very varied terrain, a lot of rocks, but that whole airstrip has been cleaned, picked clean. So you could grow, if you wanted to, corn and beans and all kinds of greens in there, and just suck the deer in from all the, basically it's ridges and hardwoods 360 all the way around the edges. This looks like an old skidder road right here. Matter of fact, we'll take this one. Alright, I can see the roof of that deer tower. I'm gonna just follow the ridge a little, because this looks like an old road for sure. With my excavator, it could be made into a decent path. I don't know if you could tell, but it's kind of a little sloped here, and then it goes right at these trees. Goes straight down, a lot steeper. I mean, boy, you could make like a micro plot here, but that's a lot of work. There's that blind right up there. You can see the views in every direction. Very pretty. I'm not sure how many decades that is. Definitely an old trail here. There's an old wooden ladder in that tree, and a sagging, very sagging Taj Mahal up here. Quail! Look at them all! Oh, nice! I can't believe that. Up here in the woods. That's awesome. A little bitty patch of seed here for them. All right, let me get my other camera out. All right, there's an old deer tower of sorts. Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it goes from the top up here down to the one down at the bottom.
That's interesting. You'll never guess what kind of critters I just saw. You'll never guess what kind of critters I just saw. A covey of quail. Right in the woods there. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, we got quail, quite a bit of quail around here.
Oh, man.
The conservation department's been putting in natural habitat and trying to kind of bring them back. So they're quite a bit, pretty abundant.
Nice. Not sure I'm going to climb.
There's a water hose out here and there's a pipe right there. So I'm guessing that must be where the water runs to right there.
Oh, that's right. He ran water out here.
We ran it out here in case the flame was on fire or something.
Well, I'm thinking he'd have a hydrant. This must be the beginning of the runway over here. All right, so if you missed part one, this is the airstrip property. So this is actually an airstrip. It's a grass airstrip. The guy that built this place had an airplane, and it was, you know, a little Cessna private airplane. But this was the beginning of the airstrip, and I'm going to tell you, it's beautiful. Look at the views out here. And these are the same kind of views in every direction on this farm, so let's keep going on here. Very pretty. Yeah, this is all the airplane runway. Oh, are you going to climb it? Be careful. Josie, nice. Wow, that's pretty cool. Another old deer tower crushed here. So down steep here is where that Cromwell road is, and then there's a creek. Now I see a metal gate or something in the woods there. I'll have to check that out. Check this out. This is a food plot right here at this end. Tuck it right in here. There's Josie checking out the view. I'm sure it's a beautiful view up there. Come on, camera. Alright, let me just put that wind's kicking down here. It's a unique property, I'll tell you that. Unique place to live. Got natural borders. Hey, you see that metal in the woods there? Beautiful views. Aaron was telling me Missouri Conservation has been doing a lot of quail habitat. Any ideas?
Looks to me like maybe a hound deer or something up there.
That's funny you say that. I saw a deer on the road down there, and it was tiny. I'm like, yeah, it looks like a jackrabbit.
I wonder if they might maybe use that kind of gambrel up there to hoist him up.
Or a feeder, maybe. It could have been a feeder.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do feeders in Missouri?
Up until a certain, like,
oh, okay, before hunting. We're out by the Taj Mahal. All right, well, let's see if we can continue on the trail. Oh, there's a cow. This ain't the line, is it? No. Oh, that's right. This one?
There's a gate right here, too.
Well, do you want to go down there or you want to go in here?
You can go in there. I'll get it side by side.
All right, I'll get your gate. There's a cow. The neighbors are running horses and some cattle. Let's see if I can get this gate for you. I'll get the gate. It's wire. We'll go out that other one. All right, so this next section now we are, this is a really nice shelf, if you will. So on the left-hand side, you got the airstrip, which is the top of the mountain where the house is and the airstrip. But before it gets really steep here in the middle, you've got a shelf. So from a deer hunting aspect, and I mean, potentially I wouldn't mind possibly outfitting at some point in my life. I mean, just like a few clients that want really high quality potential deer hunting. But anyways, this shelf lays out, granted it's cattle right now, but this could be a great food plot area here before it drops off here, super steep on the edges. And then right here is pretty much wilderness, but in a little bit we're going to follow this property line up, and then you're going to see some houses like right on the boundary line. One of the drawbacks to this property, we'll take a look at that, but we're going to go over the terrain differences where them houses are. So it's still very, very interesting, this property tour. So the Polaris wouldn't fit through this gate. I decided not to walk it. I mean, it's basically another hardwood ridge, and there's no houses on this area at the bottom. So we'll keep moving on. So the house is straight up there. And then it's another steep ridge over here. This is kind of a flat. Right now it's a cattle paddock or pen, but this could be planted down here. Definitely. And you can probably see it from the house. And then this border is just another neighboring property. This one's pretty cool. I mean, this is a really nice.
Yeah, it's set up really nice.
Really,
It's in kind of a hilly area, but it's got a nice flat.
yeah, that's hard. I was kind of worried about that. Them last two we looked at were so rocky, you know, because one of our things for potential income is if I want to do, what's that?
I was wondering why that cow was there. I never seen the calf with it.
Oh, okay.
Looks like it just had a calf pretty recently.
Yeah. Was that if I wanted to take just a couple of clients a year, but I'd need to plant food.
Yeah.
But this lays out plenty good.
It's kind of a bottom down here. It can really grow whatever you want it to down here.
Yeah, this will be nice right here.
All right, so we're just going to continue following this flat shelf here, and you're going to see the old barn on the property, which is like right on the property line. And now we're going to look at, there's 2 or 3 homes like right on the property border here. So let's take a look at this next section.
For some reason, somebody must be coming. You know how kids are with four-wheelers. So there's a house or something right down there. And just for reference, the house is up there on the flight strip. From here, it's offset. I don't believe you're going to even see that house. There's a house and there's something else down there, but this all goes all downhill here. This fence line and edge is the line right here, just into the wood line here, tree line.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah, okay. Sharon loves that over there, man. Yeah. So there's a house there, there's something small there. There's 3 or 4 out there. There's 4 or 5 houses right down in here.
Check this out.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the barn quick.
That fence line looks like it's still probably the line. Okay.
So having an old barn like this is really cool. Sharon loves exploring old barns. You know, she was a farm girl, literally grew up on a farm. But the drawback is it's literally right on the property line. So you got several houses down here. And you know, if they got kids or teenagers, that a old barn like this is probably their playhouse. You know, their getaway. There's a barbed wire fence like right beyond this wall here. That's the property line. So while it's cool having something like this, it's even cooler having it out in the woods where you got your privacy and stuff. So there's a big terrain drop here. You can kind of see it. But you got to take all this stuff into consideration. You know, when you're spending that kind of money and you're buying a big chunk of acreage, neighboring properties are going to have an impact on you. It's just a matter of how much and how good or not so good of neighbors they're going to be in the future.
It looked like there's one where we walked in on that way and probably circle around this way.
All right, now we're going to continue on this nice flat shelf. So those were the closest neighboring properties of this whole thing by far. So just got that one little area with 2 homes, I believe, and a little church schoolhouse. So now we're going to continue up towards the front where that driveway comes in. That driveway comes in from right to left, so you could see the terrain here. Really nice uphill driveway, even though it's nice and asphalt. But then we're going to see that mobile home on the front that you got to pass every time, which you could possibly buy with this property. They do own it. But let's continue on this flat shelf and see what the very entrance of the property looks like.
Oh yeah, looks like you can get across to the neighbor's property over there.
Okay, now we've come back full circle. So here's the driveway right here. From the bottom of the hill on the right is where you enter. There's the mobile home you're going to pass every single time you come and go, unless you buy it and own it. It's got 7 acres with it, but we made a full circle of the property now. We'll get into some more details, and now we're going to follow the perimeter here in just a minute. And there's going to be some really interesting stuff on the perimeter of this property. Okay, before we do the perimeter, here's the driveway. This is literally the entrance of the driveway. So I want to show you the whole run up here and a mobile home on the right that you have to make a decision with and contend with if you buy a property like this. But this must be the mobile home that you got to pass every time, which they said they would sell that if somebody wanted this farm up here. So the tour we just took on that shelf came up, you know, we're coming up on the shelf right out here to the left. It's not bad, a little field behind it, behind the mobile home. It's kind of cool. Looks like there's some horses. All right, so right here, we're going to continue the loop of the property. We've only covered just a little more than half of it so far, but right now the driveway is to our right. You see the power line right there? That's the driveway coming in. Now I'm going to look at this ridge over there just a little bit. We'll take a quick walk and then we'll do a perimeter run and see. I mean, that creek down there is absolutely beautiful, and the terrain of the property over there is really cool. So let's keep going.
All right, there goes some deer bedded on this hillside. This is a little, there's the horse barn. The driveway's right here. It's just a little field bump out here. That rock pile continues from way up there. I saw a couple deer bedded in here. Not sure if this is a pile of rocks or dirt here, but this is kind of a flat shelf. Well, flat being relative, it's angled, but you can see kind of a shelf in here. Not that I would do anything with it.
So this driveway is basically in the center of the property. On the right hand side here, there's like literally almost 80 acres on a really nice ridge, and on that border there's nothing but woods. The neighboring property, it's all remote. The house is not anywhere close, so there's like literally almost 80 acres down this ridge down here of just nothing but woods.
Looks like a old culvert pipe under a driveway right here. Yeah, right there, an old concrete one.
All right, now we're heading away from the house. We're going to head out the driveway. We're going to do a perimeter loop around the public road, basically on two sides of this property, and I'll show you everything we've been referencing: the houses that are right on the line, the creek that's right on the line, the dead-end road that's right on the line, and that easement road that comes up from way down below. You're going to see the terrain differences. It's really kind of astonishing, as you're going to see from the bottom, but it's really cool. So let's do a perimeter run and close this thing out and make a decision. Okay, so here's the homes that are like parked right on the boundary line. So you see the tree line in the back. That's where that old barn is. You can see the terrain does go up. There's two houses here, outbuildings, and then there's an old like church building. So that ridge in the background there, that's the ridge on this property that we're looking at. So let's continue going around the perimeter of it so you can get a look at it. Now right here, this is not the property up to the road. These are bordering properties, which this junkyard right here actually was one of the things that Sharon said, yeah, I'm not so sure of that.
Right down by the, so where are we at? Right up that ridge up there?
That's what we just drove along that edge of that fence line up here.
Yeah, man, and you know, you try to get a really nice, there's always, unless you got unlimited funds, trying to find a really special place is not easy. Not cheap, that's for sure. So is that the ridge there, or is it far? That's it there? Okay. So we should be coming up to that road bed somewhere.
Yeah, we should.
All right, we're going to continue on. So that ridge on the right side, you could see up in the air, basically that mountaintop, that is the property. These fields right here between that ridge and the road are owned by other property owners. And up here, we're going to take a right on that Cromwell Road, that dead-end gravel that actually does border the property where the easement road is. And that's where the creek is. There's a lot of public access at this creek because it's really pretty. So let's move on and take this right-hand turn on this dead-end gravel and see how that looks.
So, but now at some point that property comes all the way down here.
Yeah, it should dead end those back onto this road here.
Some water there.
Yeah, I think it's busting at the seams.
So are we to the property yet on the right side? Or
Really close. There's that corner right there. We're coming up on it. So once we get up there to where that the next property line is, that's the back side of the road.
okay, and then that roadbed would be on the farther end then?
Yeah.
I'm right, okay.
Yeah.
So right around here,
Right in here's the corner.
this is the property.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, wow, that's straight up and down.
So from right here on the right-hand side, basically the next about half mile on the right-hand side is that airstrip property. You could see how steep it got. I told you it was going to get steep. This is a great natural border, you know, from trespassers and things. So about a half mile of this road and the creek here on the right side is the airstrip property.
So it's saying this road is the line, basically.
So on the other side, there's this Joseph Smith that owns over here.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was on one of the listings where it showed all the way to the river.
Must be it right there.
Right here, yep, there it is.
Yeah, there's some cedar trees that's blocking that off.
Okay, so if you remember that road we were coming at from the house, it was coming downhill, and I told you we'd come out at the bottom, and they had a bunch of different sets of trees cut crossing it so nobody could come up it. Here it is from the very bottom. Very pretty down here, very remote, but here's the bottom of that potential easement road right here.
And so this is, okay, that.
So then this property line kind of follows that trail up, and then it takes a
Then it
jog
takes a
over.
jog
that
to the
big timber
left.
piece back there.
Okay.
So from here, if I own this, I'd put a gate here and give the neighbor a key if they do have an easement up it. It would be a lot quicker to go right up this steep ridge road right now. Instead, we got to go about 1.5 miles all the way around. But before we get there, let's check out this creek. It's really cool, really pretty, and it's at the very boundary of this property. So if you did put a gate there, you could literally drive from your house, take a four-wheeler down to the creek and river and swim and fish and kayak or whatever you want down here. Check it out.
Wow, that baby's swollen. So he's showing that the property line doesn't come all the way to this creek, that it comes up to that road. You could see right there, that's Cromwell. That's one we just came up on, that's on the GoPro. But one of the maps shows the property comes up to this creek. It's pretty shallow, but beautiful. There you go again, picking up a hitchhiker out in the
I'm
woods
pretty bad about that.
in the middle of nowhere.
My mom and dad didn't teach me right.
All right, thanks for joining us today. Be sure to stay tuned. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. This is one of our top 2 contenders right now. We've got one more to look at tomorrow on this road trip. We're going to put in an offer, and we're going to get a counter offer. I'm not going to say it's this property because we got one more to look at, but definitely stay tuned. This is real life. As it happens, we keep it real here, and we thank you for joining us. So have a great evening. Have a great weekend. We hope to see you on the next episode. Thanks a lot. All right, now we're heading up the hill. It's actually kind of asphalt, this driveway.